participants. So I'll start my lecture, that is regression modeling. Before that, I'll give some important information to you. So I did my BE from Mohambi College of Engineering, Trichy. It is the first self-finance college from Tamil Nadu in the year 1984. Then I did ME at GCT Coimbatore, and this government college. There ME design was started in first. It is a specialty in the GCT. It is also in the NIRF ranking, less than 100. PhD at NIT Calicut. NIT Calicut, there is no need for any introduction. It is also NIRF ranking less than 50. Then I worked at IISc Trivandrum. So it is fully funded by ISRO Trivandrum. So the specialty of IIST, Varun, are you able to hear my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay.
sir.
So audience, you can learn about this IIST. So the admission for IIST is based on IIT JEE. Once a student got admission, the complete fee is free. Only 3 courses are there: aerospace, avionics, and engineering physics. So once if they complete the degree, they will be observed as scientist SC in different ISRO centers. The IIST also is in NIRF ranking within less than 50. Then I worked at Sastra University, Tanjavur. This is a private university. So it is also good university. It is now less than 25 in NIRF ranking. So their admission is purely based on 12th mark. 12th mark. There is no separate entrance exam. KLN College of Engineering also, it is in Madurai. It is the second best college in Madurai. Tyagarajan College is number 1 in Madurai. KLN was the second college when I worked at the year 2008. Then Anna-IST Trichy is the second campus of Anna-IST Chennai. So Anna-IST, once upon a time, it was it was divided into 5 campuses. The second most important campus is Anna-IST Trichy. So it's a pure government, state government university. So currently, I'm guiding 3 PhD scholars under Anna-IST Chennai. So our department has research center approval. Just I want to say about my SSN College of Engineering. So it is fully funded by HCL owner Padma Bhushan, Dr. Shivanadar, HCL Technology. So it is 250-acre campus. It is a 250-acre campus in the OMR Road. So our department has started in the year 2007. Currently, we have UG Mechanical Engineering, PG Manufacturing Engineering, and PG Energy Engineering. So it is a recognized center for guiding PhD scholar. Currently, we are guiding. Currently around 120 scholars are pursuing PhD in our department. 120 scholars are doing PhD, and 22 students already completed PhD. So in our department, around 34 faculty members are there. Around 35 faculty members completed PhD. So they may be completed. They have completed PhD from IITs and NITs, and few of them from Anna University. So it is like a mini NIT. So we have received around 3.7 crore funded project funded project from DST, AICTE, IAPC, and Department of Mines. Our college received almost more than 40 crores funded project from all over the department. 40 crores funded project from all the department. So every year the college management is giving 450 scholarship to all the students. So recently our dean research are received 12 crore from DST funded project. So that is a specialty. So here we are doing academic plus research, that is writing paper, sending funded project. Always we have to send one funded project. Every time we should have one funded project in live. It is a condition. And 1 or 2 paper in SCA or 2 or 3 in Scopus. That is mandatory in our institute. So since we have completed PhD and we are guiding ME and PhD student, this we have to do. This is a small introduction about SSNCE, why it is sustaining in SS. Varun, are you able to hear the voice? Varun?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry, Arun, sorry. Voice is clear to you?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Slide is.
Yes, sir. One short point, sir. Okay. At the bottom, you can see the meeting now, sir. You can close that, minimize that.
Tell me.
At the bottom, meeting now.
Yes. I will minimize. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So now the regression analysis, this is a today topic for the audience. So regression analysis is a small topic in the design of experiment. What is regression analysis? how we are going to do it, what is the application of this regression analysis, what are the types of regression analysis, what are the terms are there in the regression analysis, everything we will see it one by one. I will take in a very simple manner so that everyone can understand. That is my request. Okay. So introduction about regression analysis. The regression analysis, the father of regression analysis was Carl F. Gauss from German. So he is a mathematician plus physician. So the German scientist Carl F. Gauss invented the regression analysis. Later, the term regression was fine-tuned and given to the market by Francis Galton in the year 1876. So he is an England-based person. So regression analysis was introduced by German person. Then later it came to the market by Sir Francis Galton in the year 1877. So what is regression means? It is to regress. That means go back or stepping back. That is the meaning of regression. That is the meaning of regress. So it is a statistical model used to predict or estimate the value. It is called as dependent variable from the independent variable, from the different independent variable. So you can, it is a regression model, is a statistical model. It is used for predicting or estimating the unknown value or future value of the dependent variable from the available input or independent variable. So this is a small introduction about regression analysis. So what is the goal of regression analysis? Regression analysis or modeling is used to develop a statistical model that predict the dependent variable or that predict the response variable based upon the input variables. So if the input variable varies, the response also will vary, but it will predict in a equation. So that using that equation, we can predict the unknown output for a unknown input. That is, that input is not conducted in the experiment. So regression model uses data to identify among the variable. So it finds the relation between input and output variable and use this relationship to make a future prediction. So this is one of the definition. Many definitions are there. There is a simple definition for regression modeling or regression analysis. So how it is used? So regression analysis explains the nature of relationship between two variables, that is input variable and output variable. So it is one of the most commonly used tool for business analysis. So it is used in business analysis. Mostly that statistical people or MBA people, they will use this one. It is also used in quality control in corporate sector. It is useful for estimation of statistical curve for demand, supply, price, consumption, and cost. So it is used for estimating the curve, whether it is increasing or decreasing, or it is in any curvature effect is there. Like that, it is used. So how the regression model is going step by step. So we have to define the problem or define the question, then specify the model, which model you are going to use, linear model or interaction model. Then collect the data by doing the experiment, do the descriptive data analysis, estimate the unknown parameters. I will say what is unknown parameter, evaluate the model. So how to evaluate the model, how to check the accuracy of this model, it is based upon the regression coefficient or correlation coefficient that we will see later. Then use the model for prediction. This model can be used for further by using artificial neural network or some other prediction. So types of regression analysis. So, so many types are there. Currently, we are using this simple models only. So one is one explanatory variable, that is simple regression analysis. Another one is multiple regression analysis. Multiple regression analysis means more than two input variables will be there. In case of simple regression analysis, we will have only one input variable, one output variable. The simple also we have linear model, we have non-linear model. In multiple also we have linear model as well as non-linear model. You can see what is linear regression model. So many of them may know it, but I will say some of the things which you may not know. This everyone know this linear regression, multiple regression, but some of the terms you may not be know that I will explain. So it is a curve fitting. It establishes the relation between input variable and one or more, that is input variable or independent variable. Input variable or independent variable, that is called as x, with the y, dependent variable, using a best fit straight line. So it is the straight line is called as best fit straight line or a regression line. So the linear regression is also known as ordinary least square, OLS, or linear least square. You can see a straight line. The x-axis is the input, y-axis is the output, that is y. For a given input x, the output y point for the first input and output. Like that, we may have a number of input and corresponding output. For that, the curve fitting, the straight line is fitted, that is a linear regression. The linear regression means the regression line will be a straight line. So the straight line should go maximum number of points, or the separation between the points and the line should be minimum. That is the condition. So if you plot a line, it will touch the y-axis. So this is called intercept. This is called intercept. That we will see what is intercept, what is the need for intercept, we will see in the next slide. Then we can see the error between the predicted value and the experimental value. So this is called experimental value. This is a predicted point corresponding to the particular experimental value. So this is the experimental value. This is for the corresponding experimental value. So like that, we have predicted points here, experimental points above or below the line. Some points may sit on the line. So here the error is, this height is called error between the experimental value and predicted value. This height is called error. Each point has error. Some points may have minimum error. So this is a basic for linear regression. You can see the detailed explanation. This is a dependent variable or output variable or output response. This is an independent variable input, that is called x. You can see the best fit line for the corresponding input and output. You can see this is the actual experimental value. This is the estimated or predicted experimental value. So like that, we have n number of points, and this is a line. This is a linear regression with a straight line. So luckily it is touching the origin of x and y. So the intercept is 0 in this case. This is one of the linear regression line. So we have simple regression and multiple regression analysis. In simple regression, we have output with one input. So the output y will change per unit change in x, only one x. In case of multiple regression, we have changes in y per unit changes in xi. The xi will be a minimum 2. The xi will be x2, x3, x4 up to xn. It does not take into account of any other variable beside single independent variable. It takes the account of each effect of the two or more input variable. So simple regression, already told, simple regression, multiple regression. In simple regression itself, we have linear and non-linear. So what is simple regression? A statistical model that utilizes one quantitative input variable, one quantitative independent variable. It is quantitative. Please understand, it is a quantitative. It is not qualitative. Qualitative also we can consider, that will be explained later. So quantitative independent variable x to predict the quantitative dependent variable y. So both are quantitative. One independent variable and one dependent variable y. So this is called simple regression analysis. You can see linear regression with a single one. The equation for simple linear regression y equal to output equal to b naught plus b1x. It is also can be written as beta naught plus beta 1x plus e. So e indicate error. So error, it is a random error. It should be minimum for all regression modeling. So if it is more, the prediction is very less. Now, what is multiple linear regression? So the equation for multiple linear regression is y equal to b naught plus b1x plus b2x up to bn or bp xp plus E. Some of the interaction terms also will be introduced that we will see later. So this is called multiple linear regression model. It is not a multiple non-linear model. It is a multiple linear model. We can see what are the terms in linear simple regression model. So this is the output variable y. This is the population intercept beta naught. That is a constant. We will see how to arrive the constant for a particular input and output. Then there is a population slope coefficient beta 1x. This is the coefficient. It will vary based upon the input variable. One input variable x. Then there is the independent variable. Y is the dependent variable. So if x varies, y has to vary. So the y is dependent upon the x. Then this is the error, random error. The random error should be minimum in the prediction model. We can see this is the regression, linear regression, simple linear regression straight line. You can see the first point. So this is the observed value or experimental value. This is the corresponding predicted value. So this is xi, this yi. Suppose this is x1, this is the y1. Here also one more point is there. So in that case, we can take this x2, this is the y2. Now the difference between the difference between observed value and predicted value, this is called error. So always error will be there. We can then there is a error. So this summation of all these errors are at the final total error. Then the slope is y by x. For this point, that will be kept in beta 1. That will be kept in the beta 1. I will explain with a simple demonstration for better understanding of this beta naught B1 beta 1. We can also explain further this y also called as dependent variable, or you can say it is a response variable or outcome variable. These are the another terms used for output or dependent term. Then input variables x1, x2, x3, it is also called as independent variable or predictor variable or explanatory variable. So in some other places, it may be given as explanatory variable or predictor variable. So beta naught is the intercept of this line on the y-axis. So this is the intercept point. Sometimes it will be in the 0. Sometimes it will be some height in the y-axis. So it depends upon the curve fitting line. So this is delta y by delta x. That is called beta 1. So beta 1 for a simple regression model. We'll see the small video on how to do a regression model for a simple small problem. I have two videos for better understanding.
This tutorial is an introduction.
Varun, are you able to see the video with voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, I'm coming.
Now it is showing browser.
Y variable in this case.
Fine, sir. Perfect.
Okay.
The independent variables on the x-axis and the dependent variable is on the y-axis. And we try to form a relationship between these two variables and draw a line, in this case a straight line. And over the next series of videos, I'll explain what all this means. What we try to understand is as the independent variable is moving or changing, what happens to the dependent variable? Does it go up or does it go down? How does it change? If they move in the same direction, if the independent variable increases and the dependent variable increases as well, like this, we say there's a positive relationship.
So this is called a positive relationship. If x increases, that is input variable increases, y also increases. This is called a positive relationship. Sometimes it will come in a reverse direction. That is negative relationship.
If on the other hand, as the independent variable increases and the dependent variable decreases like this, we say there's a negative relationship. The line would look like this, go downward. In linear regression, we try to make a line to make a linear regression. The key is on line right there, a straight line. You can also do curved lines, but for this topic, it's all straight lines. To actually condition, I take observations, and I'll just plot some more observations in here randomly. I'll stick them in here like that. And I try to find a line that will fit, a straight line that fits to all these different points.
This line should be drawn such a way that it should be closer to more number of points. The line should be closer to more number of points. So here only 2 points are somewhat closer to the straight line.
And this is called my regression line. And it's based upon the least squares method. And in the end, I want to minimize the difference between the S value and the actual value. I want to minimize my errors. This line will have a lot of errors if I compare the actual to the estimated value. And again, the point is to minimize these errors or make them as small as possible. Now let's imagine I put study time on the x-axis, or make that my independent variable, and the dependent variable becomes grades or GPA.
One small example, study time versus grade. Students' study time versus grade, their result.
As study time increases, grades should go up. There is a positive relationship. In regression, we develop these equations like this. In this case, y hat is estimated grades, and it's based upon, or it's equal to, b naught plus b1 times x, where x is study time. B naught we derive mathematically, and it is the y-intercept. B1 we also derive mathematically, and I'll do it in a later video, and it's the slope of the line. In this case, the slope is positive. And then
So here positive slope, so it is plus b1. Some cases for a reverse one, you may get minus b1.
the next video, I'll discuss how you develop these equations. Now, if I change the x-axis to time on Facebook, we see a negative relationship.
Students' time in the internet versus their grade. So if they spend more time in the internet, their grades may decrease. So this is called negative relationship, negative linear regression equation.
More time on Facebook, grades will suffer and go down. A negative relationship. What we're estimating is still grades. Estimated grades is equal to b naught minus b1.
Here the b naught value will be high. The b naught intercept value will be high. We'll see.
1 times x, where x is time on Facebook. B naught is still the y-intercept. The y-intercept. And it is a calculated value. The slope of the line is negative b1 because it's downward sloping, negative relationship. And as I said before, I'll show you how to calculate this equation in the next video. The x is the independent variable. The y is the dependent variable. The x is what we control, what we manipulate, what we change. And the dependent variable is the outcome. So is the independent variable, is what we control and manipulate, and your grades are dependent upon how much you study. Now this looks really ugly, and it's what I'll talk about in the next video.
Now I'll show how to do a small simple regression.
In this tutorial, I will walk you and make it as simple as possible. I'm going to start with the independent variable, which is the x-axis, and I'm making these numbers up.
Varun, video is visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Voice is coming. Voice also coming.
Yes, sir. Perfect.
But I'll plot them out.
I will see a small example with the input
And
variable
also
and output variable.
The dependent variable, which is the y-axis, and I'll plot numbers there as well. I'm just going to label the y-axis. So I'll put in points for these observation, and this observation here is the first one, which is 1, and y is equal to 2, where x is equal to 1 and y is 2. Let me drop in the second observation, and it's located at point 2, 4. And I'll just put in all the other observations in now. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take the mean of the x values. I'm going to kind of highlight what we're going to do and then do it. So we're taking the mean of the x values, which is 3.
So mean value of x is 3. So for the 3, a vertical line is drawn.
And then I'm going to take the mean or the average of the y values or the dependent variable, which is 4. And let me draw that line in. It turns out
This is intersection. This intersection point. This intersection is drawn.
That all regression lines have to go through that point there. That's where the mean of the independent variable and the mean of the dependent variable cross.
So 3, 4, 3, 4 x and average of y is.
To do this, I'm going to take the distance from the x value to the mean for all observations. And I'll do this same thing mean is 3. So I'm going to take the x value minus the mean at each point. So the first point is 1. Two observation minus the mean 4. Again, that 4 is just the mean. About 4, which is 1, is 1. Some additional calculations. And our goal is to get the
Now we have x minus x bar, y minus y bar.
equation, this equation here, y hat is equal to b naught plus b1
So,
times x.
so how to find a linear regression equation from this x and y? How to find the b naught? How to find the b1? That is our aim.
And right now, I'm going to determine what b1 is. So we take this column, x minus x bar, and we square it. We take all these values and we square them all. 0, and it's the is 4. 1, which is, get that all.
Now we calculated x minus x bar into y minus y bar. So from this table, we can calculate very easily.
Even there. Now I'm going to draw on the regression line, and what I'm trying to determine is the slope of this line, or b1. And to determine this, I take the sum, I add up, determine b1, I add up this column here, which adds up to 10, and that's my denominator. And I add up this column, which is my numerator, and this adds up to 6.
So B1 is x minus x bar into y minus y bar divided by x minus x bar the whole square. That is the B1. So B1 is the independent variable x. So x minus x bar is at the bottom.
So this is equal to 0.6. So B1 is equal to 0.6, which is the slope. So what I do is I take the difference between the x values and the mean of the x's and the y's and the mean of the y's, that column right here, and I divide that by the difference between the x values and the mean.
This is the B1 value. Now how to find the B0 value?
Squared. It's the sum of, and that's B1. It's simple. And this is equal to B0 plus B1, which we just calculated, which is 0.6, times x, which is 3. It has to be 3. We know it crosses that point, 3.
So x bar is 3. So for a 3, x bar is 3.
And now we solve for B0. Let me move that down right there. So anyway, we're almost done. We're getting there. Hang in there. So we take 4 is equal to B0.
So this y bar, they kept us 4 here. This average of 3, that is x bar, this is y bar. Now how to find the B0? So the y cap, they substituted as 4, that is average of y. X average is 3, 0.6 is B1. Now we are going to find out B0.
Plus 0.6 times 3, which is 1.8. Now I solve for B0, so I subtract 1.8 from both sides of the equation. And this gives me 2.2 on the left-hand side, and this is equal to B0. And that 2.2
is the intercept of this straight line. So here 2 is there, here 3 is there. At 2.2, the curve fitting line or straight line may hit on the y-axis. So this is called intercept. As per this data, intercept value is 2.2 and B1 is 0.6. So the equation is equal, final equation will be y equal to 2.2 plus 0.6 into x. That is the linear regression equation for this example.
Y-intercept, which is also the value for B0. Of course, those two cross out to finish that up. So now I got it. B0 is equal to 2.2. B1 is equal to 0.6, which is also the slope. And so y hat is equal to 2.2 plus 0.6 times x. And there we have it. Hopefully that wasn't too bad.
So this is a simple linear regression modeling. So how we can do this linear regression modeling in simple Excel, that also I will show. Quickly I will run it. Excel itself, we can do a simple regression analysis.
In this video, we're going to talk about...
Varun, screen is visible with the voice?
Yes, sir.
Varun?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
how to get a linear equation given a data set. So let's say on the left, we have the data for the x variable, and on the right, the data for the y variable. And so for x, let's just use 5.9, 6.61.
We have set of input variable and set of output variable. This is a single x, that is simple linear regression.
7.99 and 5 y-intercept, and then y-intercept. Now let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing.
How to find the slope and intercept?
And let me make this column a little bit bigger. So here's what you need to do. Type in equal and then slope, parentheses. Now note it as the known y values. So highlight the column with the y values. After that, press comma, and then for the known x values, highlight that column, and then close the parentheses. So this will give you the slope between the y values and the x values. Keep in mind, slope is rise over run. You can also calculate the slope using this formula. It's y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1.
So for a particular case, this overall point case for each input and output is slope.
But this gives us the slope of the line that best presents our data. So now to find a y-intercept, type in equal, intercept, parentheses, and then highlight the known y, and then comma, highlight the x values. And then that's how you can find a y-intercept. Now to write the equation of the line, you could use the form is equal to mx plus b. So m is the slope, b represents the y-intercept. So with that information, we can now write the linear equation. So all you need to do is replace m with the slope, which is 1.26776, but I'm going to round that to 1.27 just to make life simple. And then 0.3013, I could just round that to 0.3 instead of 0.30. And so this
is a simple regression equation. How to plot things, how to do a R square in the curve itself, we can see in the Excel.
is our linear equation. And so that's how you can write it if you ever have a lab report and you need to find a linear equation that relates the x variables to the y variables. Now, there is another way in which we can get the same answer. So let's say if we highlight just this column, because the x variables are just integers. If we highlight the column with the data for the y-axis, and then go to insert, let's select the chart, and let's use a 2D line chart. And so we get a straight line.
So this is a simple linear straight line for the given data.
And then if you click on the line, and then right-click it, select Add Tread Line. We're going to choose the linear option.
So here you can get a linear equation or non-linear equation. So non-linear equation means exponential. The order will increase. Logarithm. So linear. For this is the quality. The quality of the curve fitting can be assessed by R square value. What is R square value? How to find out? I'll explain in the later slides. So we'll see how it shows the equation, how it shows the R square value for this prediction.
And then if you scroll down, select Display Equation.
Excel itself, you can show the equation and the corresponding R square value in the each graph. The science people, science faculty will represent each graph with this equation with the R square value. Normally, engineering research papers, they may not show the R square value and the equation in the same graph. They will write a overall equation at last and corresponding R square. But in science, biotechnology or chemical and all, they used to show the equation for each graph. In each graph, they will show the equation with the R square value.
On chart, and you can also select Display R value, the R squared value. And we have those numbers. Now the R value.
So now R square is coming closer to 1. What is a significant we will see later.
Is the correlation value. Then point R value, it data fits a data set with X and Y variables.
Okay. So types of model, we have positive linear relationship that I already shown with the video. If X increases, Y also will increase. If X decreases, Y also will decrease. That is called a positive linear relationship. Negative linear relationship, that also you have seen. If X increases, Y will decrease. That is opposite behavior. No relationship between X and Y. That I will show with no relation means if X increases, Y certain case it will increase, certain case it will decrease. For increase in X, it will not increase continuously or it will not decrease continuously. It will go ups and down. That is called no relationship between X and Y. For this case, the R square value will be less than 0.5. That we will see later. Then positive curvilinear relationship. That is curve instead of straight line. We may get a curvilinear. Curvilinear means positive curvilinear means. So we will get a curve like this. We will get a curve like this. That is positive curvilinear relation. U-shaped curvilinear. So U-shaped curvilinear. negative curve linear also there. This may be a negative curve linear, this may be a positive curve linear. So these are the different modes in regression analysis. Some of the terms or methodologies in regression modeling are univariate, only one quantitative response variable, only quantitative response variable. Multivariate means two or more response variable will be there. Then simple regression means only one input variable will be there. Only one input variable or explanatory variable or independent variable. Multiple regression analysis means two or more input variables will be there. Then linear, all parameters enter the equation linearly, possibly after transformation of the data. So linear regression means you will get a straight line. Non-linear means you may get a curve line. It may be a like this, or it may be like this. That is non-linear regression model. Analysis of variance, that is separate one that I am not explaining in this session. ANOVA, analysis of variance is ANOVA. So ANOVA is mainly used to find which variable is more significant and how much it is significant compared to all other variables. That is called analysis of variance. Then analysis of covariance. Analysis of covariance means some explanatory variables are quantitative, some variable may be qualitative. So we may take one turning operation. So suppose if you do some machining operation, there we may have cutting speed and feed. That is and all quantitative variable. We may add coolant.
Hello, sir.
Sandeep?
Sir, PPT is not visible, sir.
Okay, sorry. Now it is visible. Now it is okay.
Sir, not yet.
Varun?
It's not yet, sir.
Okay, sir.
Varun, have you seen the video regression modeling in Excel that already you have seen it? Participants maybe seen it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I go this types of model? This already have seen it. Types of models in regression analysis. This you have seen it. Varun, have you seen the slide already?
Sir, PPT is still not visible.
Now what do you see in the screen?
Nothing, sir. Your name is only coming.
Okay.
No, sir.
I'll close again and I'll come back.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Ranganathan, sir, you have raised your hand.
Varun, now I'm opening the PowerPoint again.
Sir, sir, your PPT is not visible, sir. Share content once again, sir, and select the desktop, sir.
Yeah, now it is displaying.
I'm sorry.
We thought our bandwidth.
So,
yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, this regression modeling in Excel video.
Sir, Jaykumar, sir.
Have you seen it, sir? Varun? Yes.
Sir.
Now are you able to see
Jaykumar, sir.
the slide?
Hello, Jaykumar, sir. Hello, sir.
Varun, is it visible?
Your screen is not visible.
So, are you able to see the screen?
No, not now.
Now it is not visible?
No, sir.
Okay, I'll open it again.
Better rejoin, sir.
Now okay.
No, sir. Actually, you need to rejoin, sir. It happens sometimes. In that cases, it's better to rejoin.
So can I?
Yeah, please, sir. You can rejoin. Log off and then again use that link, sir.
I have to rejoin.
Yes, sir.
Now it is visible. Something is visible.
No, sir. Other participants, are you able to
Screen is-
see anything?
No, it is not visible.
No,
Past
sir.
10
No visible.
minutes is problem.
That
We
video
thought,
was after that video, it got stuck, sir. Sir, please rejoin, sir.
Yes, sir.
Much, sir. So now you try, sir, Jekma, sir.
Now okay. Arun.
You can now start sharing, sir. Let us see. It's now not showing anything. Black screen is appearing, sir.
Okay. Now my desktop is visible.
No, sir. Black screen is appearing. Okay. Now it has come. Now the desktop has come, sir.
It is coming. Okay. Oh. Okay. I think in my place maybe bad network. I think now it is okay.
The PPT, it's not showing, sir. It's showing only Teams window.
Setting. It is okay now. What you are seeing, Arun, are you able to see it? Screen is visible.
No, sir. It's only showing Teams window.
Teams window. Okay.
Select the entire desktop, sir. Then
Yes, literally I'm doing. Literally I'm doing. Now?
Things, sir.
Okay, I'll close so many things, other things I'll close it. I think many things are open.
You can just select desktop, then open my to that PPT. Yes, sir. Now it's gone into this.
Now can I open my PPT?
Yes, sir. Try to open.
Now okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, full screen, sir. Thank you.
I think here I stopped.
Yes,
So
sir.
regression modeling in simple Excel I shown to you. Types of regression model. So positive linear relationship already I have explained with the video. So if x increases, y also will increase. That is a positive linear relationship. Similarly, x decreases, y also will decrease. Negative linear relationship model. That is, if x increases, y will decrease. That is a negative linear relationship. No relation between x and y means if x increases, y will increase for a particular case. Some decrease. So for continuous increase in x, the y may increase or decrease. It may not follow any regular pattern. That is a no relationship model. Positive curvilinear relationship. Varun, my voice is audible? Varun?
Counseling. Okay.
Varun, screen is visible. Voice is coming. Varun? Hello. Participant can say whether the screen is visible. My voice is coming.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Varun?
Yes.
Okay. So positive, this is a positive curvilinear relationship. Then next one is U-shaped curvilinear. This is a U-shaped curvilinear relationship. These are all non-linear regression. Negative curvilinear. So this is a negative curvilinear. This is a U-shaped relationship. So some of the terms in a regression model. So univariate means only one output will be there. Multivariate means we have 2 or 3 response variable, more than 2 response variable. That is called multivariate regression modeling. Then simple regression modeling means only one input variable will be there. Only one input variable will be there. Multiple regression modeling means 2 or more input variables will be there. Linear, all parameters enter the equation linearly, possibly after transformation of the data. That is a linear regression model. A non-linear regression model may be a higher order equation. Analysis of variance, that is ANOVA. The ANOVA I am not dealing in this session. So ANOVA means it is mainly used to find the significant terms and how much it significant the responses. So you may have 4 or 5 inputs for your one output. So out of 4 inputs, which input have more significant and how much amount? That is the use of analysis of variance ANOVA. Then analysis of covariance. Covariance means some of the experiment we may have qualitative variable and quantitative variable. So quantitative variable means during machining experiment we may use cutting speed of cut. That is qualitative. That is quantitative variable. Sometimes you may use coolant. That is dry machining, wet flood coolant, and MQL machining. So at the time, this dry flood coolant and MQL is not a quantitative one; it is a qualitative one. So then logistic, the response variable is qualitative. So logistic regression means the response will be qualitative, not quantitative. So qualitative means response will be, it may be a higher, lower, or acceptable or rejectable. That is the response variable qualitative. So it will not, the output will not have any numerical value. It will have good, bad, or accepted or rejected like that. So now I am entering into multiple regression analysis. So already we know it. Multiple regression analysis means it will have more than one input variable. So 2 or more quantitative and qualitative explanatory variable to predict a quantitative dependent y. That is multiple regression. So the least square, method is used to fit the regression analysis. That is, it is a straight line that best fit the data. The straight line for which the difference between the actual value and the values that would predict the fitted line y hat are small as possible. That is, the difference between y and y average should be as small as possible. Measure of variation. So before going to multiple regression, some of these terms you should know it. So explain the variation, sum of regression, error sum of square, total sum of square. This will be used to find the R square value. So only these terms I'm introducing now. So how the multiple regression analysis, how the multiple regression equation will appear. So how the multiple regression equation will appear. That is y equal to beta naught, that is the intercept, plus beta 1 into x. This is the coefficient for the variation in x. This is the coefficient value for the variation in x2. Like that it will go. Finally, you will have error. So in the papers, most of them, they will not show these error terms. I will show some of the papers also, where beta the y intercept, a constant value, beta 1 slope of the y with the variable x1, holding the variable x1, x2, x3 effect as constant or middle. This is a beta p, the last term. We'll see a small case study. So predicting the oil consumption of home heater during the January for homes located around the screen lag. This is a cold area. Two explanatory variables are selected. That is, two input variables are selected. One is atmospheric temperature in Fahrenheit and amount of attic insulation. That is insulation of this equipment. We'll see this is oil consumption. This is the temperature outside. This is the insulation of the equipment. So if temperature is high, you can see where the temperature high value. Yes, this is used for heating the house. Normally we will use AC. Here it is the reverse one. Because temperature is high, the oil consumption is low. We will see what preliminary conclusion can be the homeowners can draw from the data. And another thing, they want to find out what is oil consumption for a particular temperature and insulation. So these are the given question. The question is from the available data, how to fit the equation, then how to find the unknown for a unknown input, what is the output. So they have not conducted the experiment for 15 degrees centigrade, 15 degree Fahrenheit and the insulation of 10-inch thickness. You can see they have not conducted insulation with the 15. They have not conducted insulation with the 15-inch and temperature with 15 Fahrenheit. So they don't have the experimental data for 15 Fahrenheit. So from the available, we have to get the equation. Then we can predict the unknown. We can predict the response for the unknown inputs. They got the final regression, multiple regression linear equation that is 562 constant in 4 into x1 minus 20.01 into x1 is the temperature, x2 is the insulation in inches. So here during PhD presentation, your guides or audience may ask, even all the input variables are 0, how you are getting 562 as the oil consumption? You can see the oil consumption varies from 94 to maximum as 441. Even for 441, temperature is 21 degree. For 8 degree Fahrenheit, we are getting 300 gallons of oil consumption is required. So if the temperatures decreases, the oil consumption is increasing. So for 0 degree Fahrenheit, we need more compared to this value. So your guide or audience may ask during your presentation, PhD presentation or MTech presentation, if everything is 0, how your model is showing 562? That means you are not doing the experiment in that condition, but for achieving the 0 degree Fahrenheit, we need 562 gallons of oil. That is the meaning. For a home with 0 inches of attic insulation and an outside temperature of 0 degree Fahrenheit, 562 gallons of heating oil would be consumed. Okay, then another information what you are getting from the equation is, for a given amount of attic insulation, heating oil consumption drops 5.4 gallons. So that is, if the insulation increases, oil consumption decreases. That is a negative relationship. So this symbol indicate there is a negative relationship between output and input. That means if x1 increases, y1 or y will decrease. If x2 increases, y will decrease. That is the negative relationship that shows the negative sign in the equation. For each incremental increase in the degree Fahrenheit of temperature in y, for a given amount of Arctic insulation, heating oil consumption drops 5.4 gallons. Second inference, for each incremental increase in inches of Arctic insulation at a given temperature, the heating oil consumption drops 20.01 gallons. So both inputs are acting in a reverse way. Now, second question, how to find the output for a unknown input and unknown another input. So 15 degree for to achieve 15 degree Fahrenheit with 10-inch thickness, what is the oil consumption, how they are finding out. So 562 minus 5.44 into 15 degree minus 20 into 10. So if you include this x1 and x2 values, you can get the output as 280 gallons consumed. So this is a multiple regression analysis. Now, how to judge your quality of the equation based upon the R square value. So how to find out the R square value, I will show with the explanation in the further slide. For this equation, R square value equal to 0.96. That is closer to 1. If the R square value is closer to 1, your prediction model is good. If R square is less than 0.7, the prediction model is not good. That means you have to take higher order equation. You have to take a higher order equation, polynomial quadratic equation we have to select. So in this case, luckily with the linear regression equation itself, they got 0.96. So that is 96% of variation in heating oil can be explained by the variation in temperature and insulation. One more term is added, adjusted R square. The adjusted R square, what is adjusted R square? What is the significance of this adjusted R square? That is very important. During PhD presentation, your guide will ask, R square value is 0.96. Adjusted R square will be lesser than the R square. That is the first significant. The adjusted R square should be less than the R square value. Another thing is the R square and adjusted R square should be very close. If it is far away, the adjusted R square is somewhat far away, then also your prediction model is not good. It is having more error. How to find out the R square and the adjusted R square, I will explain in the further slide. So now there are n number of formulas are there to find out the R square value. This is one of the formula used to find out the R square value. Square, that is a correlation coefficient, that is coefficient of determination. N number of terms are there to explain say the R square. One of the term is correlation coefficient. Many people will use correlation coefficient. Few people may use coefficient of determination. Some other terms also will be there. Okay, R square shows the how well the data fit the regression model for the given input and output. That is goodness of fit. How to find out the R square value? So many formulas are there. This is one of the formula. Correlation coefficient equal to x minus xm into y minus ym, that is nothing but x bar and y bar. This is in upper side, numerator side. Varun, participant.
Yes, sir.
My voice is audible.
Yes, sir, yes.
Slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Now correlation coefficient R square is being shown. Yes, sir.
Okay. So x minus x bar into y minus y bar divided by square root of x minus x bar the whole square into summation of y minus y bar the whole square. This is one of the equation to find out the R square value. So what is x? That is the given x point. What is y? That is data point in a data set y. That is a particular y value. Xm is the mean of x. Ym is the mean of y. Now what is why we need adjusted R square? See, suppose R square value is somewhat 0.7 means, how we can increase R square means we can increase the equation, that is linear to two-factor interaction to quadratic and cubic. But if you increase the number of terms, r square will increase. That is no problem. You can go up to 0.9. But if you increase the number of terms, it will what will happen? Number of insignificant variable will be added in the equation. Number of insignificant variable will be added in the equation. So that r square will increase, but that is not our objective. R square has to increase, I agree, but number of insignificant variable should be reduced. To reduce the number of insignificant variable, adjusted r square term was introduced. The adjusted r square term is introduced. What it will do? The adjusted r square takes into account the number of independent insignificant model. So adjusted r square formula for adjusted r square is 1 minus sum of squares of error minus n minus k minus 1 divided by sum of squares of total divided by n minus 1. So n minus 1 is degrees of freedom. What is n? You can see n is number of points, data points. Suppose 30 experiment you are doing or 27 experiment you are doing, that is n. K indicate number of independent variable, only 3 variable, cutting speed, field and depth of cut. So 3 variable with 27 experiment means at that time you have to substitute n equal to k is number of independent variable, that is 3 variable k, n is number of experiment, r square already you know it. If you substitute this, this is another formula. Yes, adjusted r square, this is one formula, 1 minus sum of squares of error by n minus k minus 1 divided by sum of squares of total divided by n minus 1. This is one formula. Another adjusted r square, you can use any formula. I told many formulas are available for r square and adjusted r square. This is one of the simplified formula from the r square value. 1 minus r square into n minus 1 divided by n minus k minus 1. Anyway, you have to divide both the numerator and denominator by n minus that degrees of freedom. Okay, so I will show one video how to find the r square value. How to find the r square value for a multiple regression analysis.
Professor, one doubt here.
Yes.
Sir, actually, it is a coefficient of correlation coefficient or coefficient of determination?
Both are same, sir. Just 1 minute. Coefficient of determination, correlation coefficient, both are same, sir.
Same. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. N number of terms are there, sir. Correlation coefficient, coefficient of determination. Some other terms also there. Goodness of it. Arun, I am planning to run the video. Arun, please help.
Okay, sir.
If it is not visible, please
Now
say.
it's okay.
In this video, we're going to talk about how to calculate the
No,
correlation
sir, it's
between two variables.
okay. Audio is visible, audible, but the video it's
What
showing
the
only desktop
correlation
now.
coefficient tells us.
I think it's behind this PPT.
So let's say we have,
Yes, sir. Now okay.
One second, I will. One second, I will run it. One second, I will open it.
In this video,
Okay,
we're going to talk about how to calculate the
Okay.
correlation coefficient between two.
So now I will show simple example to find out r square value. How to find out the r square value?
Variables. But
we have a set of input, that is x 1 2 3 4 5 6, that is 6 data are available, and y is corresponding output y also. That is a simple single input single output linear regression.
Before we do that, let's talk about what the correlation coefficient tells us. So let's say we have a straight line and we have points on the line. The correlation coefficient will be +1 for this situation.
So for this graph, it is ideal graph. So suppose ideal graph, when you will get ideal graph means for input 1, output 2, for input 2, output is 4, for input 3, if output is 9, for input 4, if the output is 16, if the input is 5, output is 25, in that case, you may get a perfect inclined straight line. Okay, so that is a y equal to x square. That may be y equal to x square. In that condition, you may get perfect straight line. This is called the correlation coefficient r square equal to 1.
Because all the points are on a line, and the line has a positive slope. Let's say this is x and this is y. It's a positive correlation because as x increases, y increases. There is a direct relationship between x and y. Now here's another scenario. Here we have points on the line, but notice the line is going down. And so the correlation coefficient will be equal to -1.
Correlation coefficient is -1.
As x increases, y decreases. And so in that case, we have an inverse relationship. Now in this example, the points are not necessarily on the line, but they're close to it. And so these points, they have somewhat of a linear relationship, but not exactly 1. So in this case, r is going to be somewhere between 0 and 1.
This is ideal condition. If you do experiment, we may get the response graph like this only. Our regression model and the corresponding main effect plot will come like this only. So we may get in between 0 to 1 only. If it is closer to 1, it is good.
It's positive because this line is increasing. It has a positive slope, but it's not exactly 1. If we were to put a number to it, it might be 0.8 or something. Whereas let's say if you have a similar line, but let's say the points are more scattered about that line, the R value will be less. It might be 0.7 or 0.6. It could be completely different, but it's somewhere between 0 and 1. But the point is this though. The closer that the points are next to the line, these points, they're further away from the line, so R is going to be closer to 0 than 1 relative to this number. Now sometimes there won't be any correlation. Let's say if
So in this graph, there is no correlation. So that is the thing. There is no correlation between x and y. If x increases continuously, y may increase and decrease, y decrease, increase. It may not continuously increase or decrease. There is no correlation.
you have just random points everywhere. In this case, R could be very close to 0 for a situation like that when there's no apparent correlation. So the correlation coefficient really tells us the strength of the linear relationship between two variables. If these two variables have no linear relationship, R is going to be close to 0. If there is a strong linear relationship, R is going to be close to either +1 or -1, depending on the slope of the line. Now let's take a minute and calculate the correlation
Now, how to find the correlation coefficient for this given problem that we will see.
coefficient. So we're going to make a moving on to the
Okay,
next.
now see, this is the x value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Corresponding y values are 2, 4 for a particular experiment.
Column, we need to multiply x and y. So 1 times 2, that's 1, squared is 48.
So we have to find out xy, that is x into y, then x square. X, y, average of x, y, average of x square, average of y square.
Now, we need to the answer we need. So I'm going to delete.
So all these terms we need. So summation x, summation y, summation xy, summation x square, summation y square.
Everything up to there. And here's the square root.
So this is a correlation coefficient. So R.
And inside the square root, it's going to be n times the sum of the x squared values minus the sum of x values, but n 1, 2, 3, 4.
This equation to find out the R value. Actually, this is R value. If you want R square, you have to multiply again. So somebody requested this is R value. This is a formula for R. R square, you have to one side you have to multiply it.
5, 6. So n is the number of
N is number of input and output. So 6 experiments was there in the given problem. Yes, 6 input and corresponding 6 outputs are there. So n equal to 6. Rest are we
everything
have
into that formula. So it's going to be n. Well, we need to know what n is. And if you recall, there were 6 x values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So n is the number of values that we have in one single column. So that's 6 in this example. And then
so you can substitute the rest of the
98,
values to get the
90,
R value.
which is 105, 36. So this R value.
So R value is 0.998. If you multiply again, it may come closer to 0.9 only. So our prediction model is it is very fit to the relation. It shows the good relationship between input and output variable.
Is very high. This indicates that the x and y variables that we have in this problem. And the fact that it's positive.
Okay, this is R square. Adjusted R square also I explained to you. This is a formula to find out the adjusted R square. Significant of adjusted R square is it takes the extra insignificant terms in the given regression model. The adjusted R square should be closer to the R square value. It will be less than the R square value. The significant of adjusted R square is it will be less than R square value, and it should be closer to the R square value. Then only your prediction model has less error. So some other formula for R square value is sum of squares of regression by sum of squares of total. So we must, what is the significance of R square? We must carefully interpret this R square value. It should be closer to 1. Introducing extra variable can lead to false result. Suppose if you want to increase the R square value, what we will do, we will go for higher order equation. At the time, what will happen? Extra variable will be included that will lead to false result and can interfere with the proper and it can interfere with the proper estimation of slope for the important variable. It will give the fault result. So to reduce the extra terms, we have to do adjusted R square. If adjusted R square is closer to R square, it has less number of insignificant terms. That is the meaning. So R square adjusted R square formula, another formula is 1 minus sum of squares of error minus n minus k minus 1 divided by sum of squares of total minus n minus 1. Okay. So in regression equation, we've seen regression equation, multiple regression equation with the coded variable and uncoded, that is real variable. How to convert the coded variable into uncoded variable or uncoded variable to coded variable, how to do it. I will show with a small explanation video.
Welcome to
Varun, video is visible with the sound? Varun?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Institute of Quality and Reliability. Hi. Please develop factor. In the previous video.
So now we'll see a regression model with the coded and uncoded variables. How to get the regression equation with the coded variable and uncoded variable.
In the spot welding experiment.
This is one of the example to related to welding experiment.
Example, levels of the 3 factors were as shown in the table below. These are uncoded levels. Remember that coded values.
These are real input variable values. These are the coded input variables, that is 2 levels, -1 + 1. It may be 3 level or 4 level or 5 level also. Okay, -1 + 1, it is a 2 level experiment. So they are considering time, force applied and current given for a spot welding. the output may be a welding strength or some other things. We'll see. They are doing spot welding. They are using 3 variables: time, force, how much they are applying during the spot welding, and current, how much they are
Are
applying.
-1 for low level and +1 for high level of the factors, and therefore the table of coded values for this experiment can be seen in black color. Conversion of uncoded to coded values. Consider the factor time. Low level setting is 10 and high level setting is 60.
We'll see the time during the spot welding. It has from 10 to 16. Lower level is 10, higher level is 16. We'll see middle level is, what is the middle level?
Consider the factor time. Low level setting is 10 and high level setting is 16. Corresponding coded values are -1 and +1 respectively. The coded values of 0 therefore corresponds to uncoded value of 13.
So this is a middle value. So -1 +1, middle value of coded value is 0. The real value is 13.
Which is the center point.
Center point.
The difference of 2 coded units corresponds to 6 uncoded units.
So now the difference between upper value and lower value of the real value is 6 units.
And therefore, 1 coded unit corresponds to 3 uncoded units.
Now, time coded equal to time uncoded minus 13 by 3. This formula you have to use. So, time coded equal to time uncoded. Suppose uncoded I am taking 16. Suppose 16 I am taking. 16 minus 13 is 3. The average of the middle value is for one increase you will have 3 units. So 16 minus 13 divided by 3. 16 minus 13 is 3. 3 by 3 is 1. So suppose you want for input of 1, for a uncoded input of 1, the coded for a coded input of 1, if you want coded input 1, to substitute 16. Okay, suppose 16, you will get corresponding coded input as 1. Suppose for a -1, what is the real value? Suppose you want to -1. Suppose you want to -1. Here you have to substitute. What you have to substitute? Suppose you want to -1. Suppose if you substitute here 10. 10 minus 13 is -3. Divided by 3 is -1. So using this relation, you can get the you can convert the coded into uncoded.
Thus, we can convert any uncoded value to coded value with the equation time coded equal to time uncoded minus 13 divided by 3. For example, at high level, time is equal to 16. Therefore, time coded can be calculated as +1. And at the low level, that is time is equal to 10, time coded can be -1. For example, at time 15, we can calculate the coded value as 15 minus 13 by 3, that is equal to +0.6.
So if you want to find out at the middle, suppose some unknown, you are not conducting the experiment, but you want to predict the coded and uncoded values. Vice versa, if you want to find out, suppose for example, at time 15, what is the coded value? For 15, what is the coded value means? So x minus 13 is the lowest middle value divided by each value, what is the corresponding uncoded, that is 3, that is equal to 0.66.
Or at time is equal to 12, coded value will be 12 minus 13 by 3, that is -0.33. Similarly, uncoded value of force can be converted into coded value with the equation force coded is equal to
force coded equal to force uncoded, that is x. What you want to find out? -3 is the middle level. Then each level will have a variation of 1 unit. Here 2, 3, 4. So only one interval.
to force uncoded
That interval is 1.
minus 3 divided.
Here the third case interval may be 2. Here also it is 2, 3, 4. Here also it is interval is 1 only. Here the interval is 3. The first case interval is 3. Here the interval is 1. Here also interval is 1
by
only.
1. Try converting interval values of force of 3.5 upon 1.
Here also current also the interval is 1. The interval is here also 1. Previous case it was 3. The previous case it was with the 3 divided by 3. So this formulas will be used to convert the coded regression equation into uncoded regression equation or
Uncoded
regression equation to coded regression.
minus 10 upon 1. Here you can try conversion of force uncoded value. Now we will see how to develop for coded level. From the above table of x2, x3, etc. units can be as delta equation 9.25x2.
This is a final regression equation for the multiple regression model.
Plus 58.5x3 minus 1.20. We have already established equations to convert coded. Substitute these values of coded variables in the above equation to get the formula. Similarly, if simplifying these terms is solved using software.
Okay, this is how to convert the coded into uncoded. Now we'll go for a nonlinear regression. So nonlinear regression, when we will go, suppose you are taking X input and Y output. So this is a small example. Engineers at Colonel Motors want to use regression analysis to improve the fuel efficiency. They want to improve the fuel efficiency of the vehicle. They are studying the impact of weight of the vehicle on the miles per gallon as output. So miles per hour, this is the weight of the vehicle. Already we know it. Weight of the vehicle reduces means miles per, that is output, that is mileage may improve. So here the linear regression equation gives the 47.8 minus 8.2 into weight. Here input is weight, that is output is miles per gallons. So the R square value is 0.7 as per the. If they go for a higher order model, that is curvilinear or quadratic or cubic, at the time they are getting, this is a non-linear regression equation with the curvature effect, downward curvature effect. There they are increasing from x to x square. That is the non-linear equation. So the non-linear equation will have higher order terms, x to x square, y to y, sorry, x1 to x1 square, x2 to x2 square. So at that time the R square value is slightly increasing to 0.8. So normally while writing a paper, the R square value should be at least 0.7 to maximum 0.9. Suppose if you are taking linear regression equation itself, mean, that is mean alone, if you are taking, if you get 0.9, that is well and good. Your experiment is very good. Your experiment is well behaving. Suppose if you are taking linear two-factor interaction equation, there if you are getting 0.9, you can use that one alone. If the regression equation gives R square value as 0.7 or 0.6, at the time only you have to go for quadratic and cubic. Okay. So now I'll show how to use the generate regression model for the given experiment using Design Expert software. I will show for 1 or 2 minutes. Time is getting nearing. Varun, what are you seeing on the screen?
Sir, VLC player, something is shown. Something.
Some design experiment EDMs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. EDM study 7, study 3 and 7, sir.
Okay.
Send the latest.
This is an EDM experiment carried out by UG students with 3 factors and 3 level electric discharge machining. We have 3 inputs. This is a Design Expert 7 software. It may not be a latest one. The Design Expert 12 is there. Design Expert 7 software is the current, voltage, and T on. These three inputs we are taking, and the material removal rate and surface roughness we are measuring as output. Material is slightly novel, not novel. There's less work carried out on this material, so only BTech students did this one. Along with this one, I have added one more. There's a quantitative input, current, voltage, and T on. One more qualitative input also I have added. That is electrode profile, square bottom, round bottom, and triangle bottom, that I have not shown in this one. So 4 factors I have taken with the 3 levels that I have not added here. Then I measured material removal rate and surface roughness. This is a summary. The MRR minimum was 0.092 gram per minute to maximum 0.2. The surface roughness in micrometer, minimum value is 5.4 in EDM. Surface roughness of EDM, electric discharge machining, is slightly higher than the turning and milling. So it goes up to 11 micrometer. So this and all, you may be knowing it. We took a walkthrough into the DOS. So here you can see the MRR I took, that is material removal rate. The response ranges from 0.09 to 0.21. Ratio of maximum to minimum is 2.2. If it is less than 3, we have to take power transformation. As per the suggestion, I took power transformation. We can go to summary. Then we can go to model. In the model, I am selecting linear model, and I am seeing ANOVA. You can click next icon. You will get a corresponding answers. See, R square I got as 0.7. The registered R square I got 0.58. So it is not that much good. So what you can do, once again you can come back to model, and you can give 2-factor interaction. So 2-factor interaction, if you select, then you can go to ANOVA. That ANOVA, you can see R square value is 0.94, adjusted R square is 0.7. This is enough for writing your paper. So this much R square value and adjusted R square is enough. We will see the regression equation. This is a regression equation with uncoded. This is a coded. This is a coded only with ABC. It may be -1, +1, and 0. Then actual factor, with the actual factor, this is a real with the actual factor. This is a regression multiple non-linear regression equation. This is a multiple non-linear regression equation with the real factor, current, voltage, T on, current versus current, and it is an interaction term, current and voltage, current and T on, voltage and T on. So suppose higher values are there, out of 3 interaction, which interaction has higher value, that have more influence? So interaction already may be studied from some other topic. I can show it in the graph. Suppose if you want to see, which is that how to see the interaction effect. You can go to view, and you can see one factor and interaction. You can see that AB is having more interaction. If it is crossing, that is one increases, output will increase or decrease. If second one increase, output will increase or decrease. Suppose both inputs are increasing, output is increasing, means there is no interaction. Suppose one is increasing, one input is increasing, other input is increasing, but output is decreasing. That is called interaction. So both input increases, output increases, means there is no interaction. If one increasing, another input is increasing, but output is decreasing. That is called a strong relationship. You can see this AC is having slight interaction, BC is having slight interaction, but compared to this 3 interaction, AB is having more interaction. So there is a interaction. So I will show once again how to select a particular regression model. So based upon the R square value, R square is 0.9, adjusted R square is 0.7. So I have taken I have taken 2-factor interaction. That model I have selected. So particular regression model is taken based upon the R square value and adjusted R square value. If adjusted R square is closer to R square value, then your model is good. So this is the software with the coded equation and uncoded equation. So you can use the Design Expert software like anything. So using this Design Expert software, we have published more papers. now I'm coming to the paper side. Varun, are you able to see the slide? Varun?
Yes, sir,
Varun?
I'm seeing, sir. Applications of
Okay, this is the
regression modeling in research papers.
Yes, sir.
This is the
Yes, sir.
this is the last this is the last one I am coming. Only 9 more minutes are there. I'll complete.
That's okay, sir. That's fine.
Okay, so Varun, what you're seeing the
Sir.
screen?
It's a PDF file of an investigation of cutting forces and tool work interface temperature.
Thank you. So this is my first paper to get PhD. So this is SCA journal, SAGE Part C. I have at the time I had 2 guides, Jose Madi sir and M.A. Joseph sir. So this is the cutting metal matrix composite machinability study. I measured tool work interface temperature and cutting force with the help of dynamometer and a non-contact pyrometer. You can see what is the use of this regression model in this paper. This is a small experimental setup. This is a vertical machining center. This is a Kistler dynamometer, and this is a temperature measuring equipment. This is the composites, 4 or 5 composites. I'll show my input variable. So input variables are cutting speed, feed, depth of cut, and the volume percentage of SiC particle in the aluminum matrix. So I took, I think, 5 levels, 4 factors. Now you can see the regression equation. Okay, there's two regression. One is the resultant cutting force. Here I have taken quadratic model. So square is there, no? Square is quadratic model. Cubic means 3 d cube or SiC cube will be there. So there is a real regression equation with the real. It is not with the coded one. Here I got R square value is 0.7. Adjusted R square is 0.4. If I go cubic, that may not be good. It may have more number of insignificant terms. But I wrote a justification why I received why I am not able to receive 0.8 or 0.9. I wrote a justification for the reviewer. The reason for this one, you can also write, if it is less than 0.7, then only you have to go for higher order. If it is in between 0.7 and 0.9, it is well and good. So if you do real experiment, due to dynamic nature of the composite, I wrote the explanation for the low R square value. The low value of R square is due to the dynamic characteristics of composite. This is the composite, metal matrix composite, particle composite. We cannot assure that how the particles are distributed inside the matrix. And the cutting action is a milling. It is not a turning operation. It is a multi-point cutting tool. Some moment it will cutter will engage with the workpiece. Some moment it will out of the workpiece. That is a slot milling. It is not a it is a shoulder milling. It is not a slot milling. It is a shoulder milling. So 70% of the cutter will be inside the workpiece. 25% outside the workpiece. It will be in the air. So the cutting tool will be away from the workpiece sometime. Cutting tool will be inside the workpiece sometime. So cutting tool cutting tool action and dynamic nature of the machine. So the machine vibration also will be there, and reading in particular machine. If you take the particular experiment in a particular machine and if you do the same experiment in some other machine, you may not get the same cutting force. So all this dynamics nature, that is due to composite, due to cutting tool engagement, due to the dynamics of the machine, the R square value is varying like that. I concluded. Then second equation, roughness, you can see the the tool work interface temperature. Here also I got R square is 0.62 and adjusted R square is 0.3. Measuring tool work interface temperature in a dynamic is not at all easy. We have to use a high resolution thermal imaging camera. So at that time I use simple non-contact radiation pyrometer. Now what we are using in the Corona, this temperature screen, the same spot one only I have used. So it may focus in a particular area only. It may not cover the entire cutting tool environment. So only I got low prediction. Experiment also, it may not be that much accurate. I have focused this non-contact radiation pyrometry exactly at the tooltip to workpiece interface, but it may not cover the back side of the cutting tool. It may be focused in a particular area only. So certainly the experiment itself may not be good prediction. Then the regression equation also may not be a good one. Certainly the R square value is coming less than 7. We should not go more than quadratic term. So this is the one example how the regression equation is used in a writing in a paper. Then another example, this is one more purpose I published. So we can use this regression modeling combined with the artificial neural network. You will get a regression equation that may have a regression coefficient as less than 0.9. Here I used 4 factors, the same cutting speed, field, and depth of cut, but size of the SiC particle I have varied. Earlier paper I used constant size of the SiC particle in reinforcement, that is 1 micron. Here I varied the SiC particle sizes 1 and 12.5 and 25 micron. This is the difference. Here also I measured surface roughness and cutting force. Temperature I have not included. So in this case, how this regression model was used? The regression model I took this is coded one. This is a coded one. Resultant cutting force with the quadratic term, surface roughness with the quadratic term. Here I got R square value as you can see the R square value from the regression model. I got 0.6. Mean square error is 0.01, that you don't need to worry currently. Then surface roughness, for this regression equation I got 0.8, somewhat good. But if I go for ANN, artificial neural network, the R square value is coming as 0.9. Training and testing is 0.92. That is out of 30 experiment, some 25 experiment I may be given for input for training, and testing time I got 0.92. Surface roughness also in training I got 0.96. Testing time I got 0.94. So what I concluded is the prediction of regression is less than the neural network. You can see the comparison result according to the accuracy values of the regression model and the ANN model. So the above two proposed model can be effectively used to predict the responses in milling operation. However, from the statistical performance criterion listed in table 3, this is table 3, ANN gives closer prediction compared to regression model. Like that I have concluded. So you can couple with the RSM and the ANN, and you can show ANN prediction is good compared to regression model. That also you can do, and using this regression equation you can do further optimization also. You can using genetic algorithm, you can using the regression equation further you can go for fuzzy modeling also. You can classify for a particular set of input how the output will behave. You can quantify, yes, you can give the quality. So if you do the experiment with the design of experiment, something 27 experiment or 9 experiment or 30 experiment, you can regression equation, you can do ANOVA, you can do artificial neural network. This is the first paper with the SAGE. There you can see regression equation I did, ANOVA I did, then effect which factors are affecting, then optimization, everything you can do for getting a paper. Doing experiment alone, we may not get a paper. We have to do regression analysis, some optimization, gray relation analysis, something you have to do, then only you can get a paper. Okay. So that's all. My presentation is over. I think I gave the presentation like a elementary school. I may not given a talk like a previous experts. I gave how to find, how to derive a simple regression equation, how to find out the R square, how to find out the adjusted R square, how to use a regression model in the journal paper. That's all, Varun. Varun, I completed my side. And conclude my session.
Sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
If any doubts are there, please, participants can unmute and you may speak.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. It's a nice presentation, sir. It's myself, Arun Karthikeyan, sir. Such call, sir. I don't know, sir, what is the difference between the prediction and optimization? So I'm very confused with words, sir. Please.
Prediction means suppose you are doing some experiment. Suppose in between some input variable for a particular input that may not that input you may not be conducted the experiment. For that input, if you want to find out the output, that is called a prediction. Are you able to understand? You have done 30 experiment for
Okay,
4
sir.
input and 4 input, 3 levels. For that, actually, you have to do more than 90 experiment. You have to do, but using design of experiment, you are doing 27 experiment only.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you able to understand? So 4
Yes, sir.
factor, 3 levels you have. Total
Okay.
combination may be more than 90, but you are doing 27 or 16 experiment only. What about
Okay.
remaining experiment? So for that remaining experiment, for that remaining input variable, you can find out the unknown output value without doing the experiment. That is called prediction.
Prediction. Okay, okay,
It's
sir.
in the regression equation. Optimization means which condition you will get a maximum MRR, minimum surface roughness. For which input parameter you may get our required responses. Some responses you may need maximum, some responses you may need minimum. Okay, but for a particular input, what particular input you will get a optimum output. That what particular input that we are going to find out now, that is called optimization. Optimum parameter setting for getting good responses or average or better responses. That is the optimization. Yes, Varun, you can also give some input for prediction and optimization. You can also give some input to the participants for this question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is sufficient actually. What you said is right, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Optimization, sir. Optimization for input parameters, prediction for the output, targeted value outputs, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Super, sir. Nice explanation about that.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any other?
So, what is the R square value is acceptable for a publication, sir? You are stated 0.6 to 0.8, 0.6 to 0.9 is a good something.
Yes, sir. Actually, 0.9 is good. Greater than 0.9 is good. So suppose your experiment is good. So actually, how this will improve means you have to do the repetition of the experiment, but we may not get time. But we may write in the paper. I should not say this one. Actually, each experiment you have to do 3 times minimum. See, 30 experiment I did means 30 into 3, 90 experiment I have to do. But getting dynamometer, if you are mechanical, you can understand what is dynamometer. I don't know whether you are from mechanical. You are from mechanical, sir?
Mechanical, sir.
Okay.
Machining. Machining.
Yes. Getting dynamometer is not easy. I waited for 1.5 years to get the dynamometer in my institute. 1.5 years crystal dynamometer. I think now from Bangalore, some less than 10 lakhs dynamometers are available. That is enough now. That earlier time it was 30 to 40 lakhs crystal dynamometer. So if you do the repetition of the experiment, you will get a good data, good output. At that time, if you use equation or two-factor interaction equation, at the time it's closer to 0.9. Suppose if you are not able to get 0.9, you can go quadratic. So quadratic, that is good. Even in the quadratic itself, I am not able to get 0.7. I think in the paper, you can, if you are getting 0.7 to 0.9, that is enough. If it goes less than 0.7, then definitely reviewer will ask. At that time, you can give justification. Suppose your work is something dynamic in nature, cutting force or composite. Suppose you are taking simple aluminum, and if you do machining and if you do surface roughness, definitely you will get with the linear equation itself. You will get 0.9. Definitely, don't go for you don't go for measuring cutting force and temperature. You simply measure surface roughness alone with the available aluminum material. You will get a good if the cutting speed increases, surface roughness will decrease. That is the metal cutting theory. There you will get a prediction with the linear equation itself. You will get 0.9 definitely. If you go for cutting force, temperature, something in the wire cutting, if you do some temperature, EDM itself, if you do temperature prediction, that is very dynamic. In the EDM, we will say it will go up to 10,000 or 12,000 degrees centigrade. But and wire cut medium, it is fully dynamic. There, if you cannot get the R square value closer to 0.9, even if you go to quadratic, there you have to go for cubic or AN only. That's all.
Okay, sir. Sir, I have another doubt, sir. How we see? Actually, I'm suppose machining in composite is very difficult, sir, because I don't know the factor which influencing more. So how can I suppose I'm doing machining with the composites means how I know which is effective or not? composition and dimensions are here, the cutting temperature or something. So many factors are there now.
Yes.
So at the time, how I can fix the, I mean, how I fix the target, how I make the constraint for the problems are actually dynamic problem, as you said.
Yes, actually, how to fix the problem? It is based upon purely. I used to speak openly, real fact only. I used to speak. See, based upon the facility available, you can select the input variable. Based on the facility available, you can select the output. So for getting a paper, you have to select at least one or two novel input variable. See, cutting speed, feed, depth of cut, it is well established. So that selecting only cutting speed, feed, depth of cut may not work for getting the paper. So at the time, you have to add some composition in the composite or some cool. Actually, in the output, MRR surface roughness, already so many people has published in this area. You have to go for some tool work interface temperature or hardness variation in after machining. This you can take after machining. How the surface roughness you are machining, that is good. That is a basic that you have to add compulsory. You should not neglect the hardness variation after machining in the workpiece that you can measure. Temperature variation in the interface, surface the cutting tool temperature during the machining, like that. Some one or two responses, new responses you have to take. It is purely depend upon facility available and available literature. In the available literature, some standard input and output will be there, like a cutting speed, feed, depth of cut, and MRR and surface. Apart from that, some input you have to add, some output you have to definitely have to measure based upon the facility available with you. Or you can go some other research institute and you can do the experiment. That is, there is no constraint. Only this much input only has to select, this much output only you have to measure. You see, you select particular material. You see the literature. In the literature, only this much output only measured. This output is not measured for this composite. Suppose still, I think they have not simulated the machinability behavior by ANSYS. My guide requested me to do with the ANSYS. I think Varun is doing EDM with the ANSYS. I don't know FEM. I think he maybe tried the heat transfer in the EDM by using FEM. So like that, some new things.
Okay.
I think one more thing.
Which output that you can measure. Yes.
Yes, sir. And one more thing we can do is like yesterday when Ramkumar sir was giving, he mentioned about doing this in a systematic manner, sir. So there he was mentioning about first understanding the physics, then taking one factor at a time approach. So with that, you will come to better the Ishikawa diagram or cause and effect diagram will come, and that will give us which parameter is more significant. Like what sir was mentioning is like you have a composite material and you don't know which parameter is influencing or which one to take and what levels to take. And I think for that the best thing to do is first understand the process physics, and if the process physics demands these parameters in your study, then you try to do the next step in one factor at a time approach. When if you, I'll share the videos, and I already shared the PPT. If you can go through the previous videos also, you'll understand, sir. And I think tomorrow again Sandeep is going to address on the one factor at a time approach. So there again you will come across, and with that we'll come to we'll arrive at which parameter at what levels can be selected. And this is only pilot experiment. Mind you, this is only to know to address your query, exactly your query, because we don't know which parameter at what level to be considered. Now, one that is done, next step will be all these things like Taguchi, RSM, or full factorial.
Okay.
Arun, I will also add Arun Karthikeyan. Arun, you are now, where are you now, Arun Karthikeyan? You are working where?
I'm a research scholar in Vignan University, sir.
Okay. Okay. Good. So minimum 3 level you do, because if you do 2 level, it may be straight line only, either increase or decrease. If you do 3 level, then only you can check the curvature. That is 3 level. Then you take the 4 or 3 input and 3 level minimum you select. You do ANOVA. During ANOVA, you will.
Yes, sir.
Get which factor is all significant. So that suppose some factors we are having very less significant. ANOVA analysis will give each factor how much it contribute. Some factor may be less contribution. Okay, that factor next time you don't need to add. Next time you need to add it. That is as per my experience. I am sharing my view. Okay,
yes,
you can discuss with your guide also.
Sir. Because we don't have the higher end machines, higher operating conditions. So
Yes.
Our equipment is limited one, sir. So I want to examine my quality of the machinability
Yes,
of my
yes.
material. Means I need to
Yes,
work
yes.
in that range only, sir. That's why I'm
Yes,
asking
yes.
this.
Yes, yes. I
Questions.
told clearly. I am very open. So
Yes,
based
sir.
upon the facility available only, you have to select the input, output, and you have to see the literature. The
Okay.
ideal condition is see the literature, then you start. That's all.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir,
Okay,
thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you for your kind answers, sir. Thank
Uh,
you. Both.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for giving a wonderful talk, and it was good. Even interaction went on. I once again thank Jaykumar sir for sparing his time. In fact, he attended many of these sessions, and he has fine-tuned the lecture as per the needs of the participants, and then he has given very good examples, easy to understand, with good videos and all. And from the participant side, I would request you to share those content PPT, sir, so that I can give the slides to participants. And
Okay, I will share this PowerPoint with the corresponding videos also to Varun in the.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you
so that
for...
Varun can share to participants.
Yes, sir. Thank you once again, sir. And we'll continue our research work through at least from this point onwards. And it was good, very nice to interact with you, sir, after a very long time.
Yes, yes. After 14 years, we renewed our relationship. Like Ramkumar
Yes,
sir, the world is small, so due to internet, we can get connection. Yes, internet and phone.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So,
All
thank
of
you. Any negative things are there? Please adjust it.
No, sir. No.
You can take it. Okay. Thank you, Varun.